It's designed to be no taller than the liftgate opens on a traditional SUV. Now, the reality, of course, is that everybody's garage is different.
Yeah, but it's standard decent one should
That's
work,
right. Yeah, this is obviously we want to make sure this fits in as many garages as possible, and so the geometry of the doors will be engineered such that we maintain the narrow opening on the side. We maintain the ability to walk underneath and not hit your head, but also keep them as low as possible.
For people that have young children to put in car seats, that's great.
Well, that's what Troy mentioned. I mean, Elon, we sort of joke.
He's got tons of kids, yeah.
He has like 5 kids under age 7, so this is sort of not an option. This is a necessity.
He must have some twins too.
He does. He has 2 sets of twins.
Wow.
Expecting 2, it means he's going to get twins?
No, he already has.
He already has 2 sets of twins.
2 sets of twins, 5 kids.
Yeah, I believe.
And then, wait, you said?
Oh no, he's expecting 2 kids. Troy is.
That's right. And so with the center row that slides, I mean, I would imagine that you would move the second row to a sort of a far back position, place the child seat in, you'd step into the car, you're not cantilevered over, you attach the child seat, put the kid back in, and then of course you could actually move that second row forward again to maybe allow older children into the back seats.
And it's all electric. I saw a little switch there.
On this particular car, yes, it is electric. As we refine that system, crash test it, go through all the durability and safety concerns, that may turn into a manual system. It may remain electric. Right now, the 3 seats operate independently. Maybe it becomes 1 seat. Maybe it becomes a 60-40 split.
Yeah. Oh, speaking. Yeah. Can I talk about Model S for a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is a big question on the forums. There's a lot of people that are fanatics for, like, center console fanatics, right? So I understand George posted on the forum there's 2 vehicles or new betas. I forget which color, the white and the red or something. Yeah. Is the interior we see in the new betas, is that the interior?
Yes. So I follow the forums myself, and so I've been, I know what some of the questions are. And when we said that the interiors were, 90% there, and that there were some changes, what we were talking about was fit and finish. We weren't talking about any type of particular design changes. We're talking literally about how well the panels fit together, how a couple of materials here and there, like carpeting and things.
Yeah.
You can see those cars outside. You'll see that.
Yeah, I will after this.
What we think is that having the open center console will actually be sort of the signature of Tesla. We're all used to having a center console in our other cars because there's a transmission tunnel or something that runs through there. But the idea is that with the negative space, you can put your purse or you can put your laptop bag, and I think it'll take some getting used to. But I think it'll be really efficient.
Now, a follow-up question, is there any kind of attachment point there? So people that have to have a console can get an aftermarket console. Is there an attachment point, like a railing?
There's sort of rails that go from the instrument panel down to the armrest.
Oh, okay.
And that would keep anything that's loose in there from rolling into, for example, the pedal area.
Yeah, that would be a
safety concern, or into the passenger area, which would be a nuisance. However, for those folks that are concerned about like a laptop or perhaps something that they want to what I recommend is that I have the perfect hiding space for it.
The front.
The front. No one will look in your engine compartment.
That's right.
I promise you. Thieves do not know what this car is.
Yeah, we're also stockholders. When we get the Model S, we're going to keep putting stuff in the front. And then people are looking like, my God, the car's no engine, It's like, what is this? We have a lot. And our community has a lot of neighbors. They're.
Well, we've also said, Model X has seating for Tesla hasn't said this. I've said this. That, the kids that behave and get to
timeout,
they can sit in the back. The kids that don't behave go in the front.
Okay. So right before I came over here, I read. By the way, there was some guy that camped out at 6 o'clock in the morning to see the 4 cars when they showed up. Did you see him?
No, I didn't. Although that's.
Oh, and he took pictures and posted them. You really have fanatical.
That's great. I mean,
people said, "Oh, you lined up here instead of over at Apple, for your iPad."
Well, clearly we have some.
There is one criticism which I can see the validity of what they're saying. People said if you have the light interior, there are a lot of black parts of the interior that don't change.
That's right.
Someone posted a picture of a BMW interior with like tan or something, and there's a lot of tan you can see. Mm-hmm. On Tesla, there's just certain areas that are your color.
That's right.
Why is that? Why all the black parts?
Well, if you consider that
it's kind of a heavy, strong contrast. A lot of people don't like that.
One, it's a design thing to a certain extent. I have owned a BMW in the past that had a very similar color scheme to Model S, where it was all black carpets and then the seats and the door panels changed color. But I think one of the primary reasons that we've done it in Model S is that someone like BMW, someone like Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz are producing hundreds of thousands of vehicles per year, and so if they presume that 20% of folks will get 4 different colors or something, 5 different colors, well, that still represents a lot.
A large order.
If we take the, let's say 30% of customers will get each color in Model S, and multiply that by 20,000 units, well, there's not much economies of scale in terms of manufacturing. So that's the first concern.
Okay.
The second concern is that when you have a beautifully appointed colored interior, it's not one piece. There's molded plastic pieces that have to match the color of the leather exactly. And then there are different types of plastic pieces that are coming from suppliers all over the world. And they all have to come together and produce their particular part in their material in exactly the right color to match all
color
the
match.
So by having only some of the pieces in the interior color matched, the number of total parts in the car is dramatically reduced.
Got it.
And the complexity in the supply chain is also dramatically reduced.
So it'll end up lowering the cost to the consumer.
Lowering the cost, improving the quality to the consumer, improving our ability to ensure that we can offer sort of all combinations all the time and not maybe delay someone for a seatbelt buckle receptacle or something like that.
Someone also said the interior is kind of modular the way it's designed. So, because some people might keep these vehicles for like, let's say 8 years or a long time, and they might get tired of the interior or wear it out or whatever, and they could actually change their interiors down the road or something. Someone said it was kind of modular the way they did it, or
I mean, in our manufacturing,
and there's some real fanatical guy talking about he can spend $1,000 to get a custom interior in his car or some crazy thing.
I can't really speak to that.
Yeah, I know you can't talk about that.
That's not something that we are investigating opportunities to maybe.
You can make extra money like Mercedes does, so having designo editions.
That's right.
In the future after signature's over.
That's right. Now Mercedes, of course, the inventor of the automobile, they've been doing this for quite some time.
I know. But they charge about $600-$700 for those, as I recall.
Yeah. So as we get more mature, as we get more cars on the road, obviously our primary focus is to deliver Model S to all of our patient reservation holders like yourself in supremely high quality and as soon as we possibly can.
Right.
We'll sort of introduce additional complexity perhaps as we get further along. I don't know that the comment about a modular interior is all that true.
Yeah, there's so much speculation that you read on these forums.
That's right. Certainly in our manufacturing process, it's modular in that, for example, a full instrument panel subassembly is hoisted into the car. So the subassembly is assembled like online, sort of, so to speak, and then added as a single piece to the vehicle.
Okay.
But that's something that we're able to do uniquely in the manufacturing process. I don't know that it would be quite so easy to do that once the cars together.
I guess the final question, I'll let you go to talk to other people, but can you speak to when the full design studio will be on the internet? Because you have a lot of reservationists around the world waiting to use the design studio.
Without a doubt. So today we've started to show the interior configurations on the store design studio here. The code that runs that is very, very similar for the web, but it does require a few tweaks. Our goal is to have that up within the next couple of weeks. Of course,
before winter is over.
Yes. We won't be liars if it's before winter is over. But also, right, more importantly, we're approaching very soon configurations. This first signature customers will want to configure their cars, and Tesla will ask for their configurations in the next month or so.
We heard rumors that the Founder Series has already been configured. For some of them.
The Founder Series is somewhat unique because they are literally the first cars, and so we need to reach out to those folks extraordinarily early, much earlier than we would otherwise, to kind of make sure that our supply chains have ordered parts that are long lead time items. I mean, you can imagine that on a car like this, there are some items in the car that have a 1.5 year lead time when you order them from the supplier.
Right.
And so for the Founders cars, to make sure that they're the exact spec that we want, we do need to reach out to those folks very early.
Yeah. Yeah, and this, and the way you guys operate marketing-wise, it's all viral marketing, word of mouth, and all that. You know, free PR in the press and everything.
That's right.
You know, like Apple-style introductions. One thing companies like Mercedes and BMW do is they have this European delivery program. So people take a vacation, they come home, tell all their coworkers and friends how great it was. Do you plan in the future, when you're able to support that, to have that for, let's say, European customers and Asian customers to come to Fremont?
I mean, I think that would be a fabulous idea.
I actually live in Fremont.
Oh, fantastic! I envisioned, you know, a Silicon Valley delivery, right? You go to Bavaria, you go to Stuttgart, Munich to pick up your Mercedes, or Porsche, or BMW, as it were, and that's a uniquely German experience.
Yeah, but we have some great drives here on one. Well, Pacific Ocean?
Absolutely. So we would love for folks to come to the factory and have a Silicon Valley experience. We are planning for factory deliveries around the start of production for folks who are local. So like yourself, we'd be happy to host you at the factory.
Oh, that's great.
As far as a program...
But there were some people asked, like, could they watch their car being final assembled or something? That probably won't happen. No.
Unfortunately, no.
It'll just be a delivery center kind of thing.
It will be a delivery center to, you know, these cars. We will maintain the reservation sequence as close as we absolutely can.
Sure.
And that reservation sequence, if you order it in the time frame that we allow you to, will be very close to the production sequence. But you can imagine that cars will be batched to a certain extent based on color, interior trim, these types of things. Now, it won't dictate your delivery time frame. Someone a few points after you isn't going to get their car before you, but it makes it very difficult to really kind of watch your car come down the line.
Here's probably one of the number one questions for people that are planning to order a smaller battery pack. They want to know, like, what's the cutoff going to be in terms of the early production of the 85 kilowatt hour packs?
So what will happen is the full design studio will go online shortly, that we talked about just a moment ago. Following that will morph into what we kind of call a configuration or a booking tool. And this is where you will literally confirm your options, and it won't just be the aesthetic components of the car, but it'll be things like twin chargers, and it'll be things like the audio package. And in that experience, as you select various options, the ones which are time dependent will show you an expected delivery date.
Oh, okay. Is it like when you buy a new car? Like when you buy a new house, they make you pay like 50% of the option cost up front, you know, because it's configured for you. How are you going to, like, avoid people from just having $5,000 deposits and then canceling at the last minute?
Well, so right now, the reservation payment, we're careful to call it a reservation payment, not a
refundable reservation.
It's simply a space in line. So what happens is that when we configure your car, we will issue some paperwork that essentially says,
it's contract.
Thank you, Mr. Customer. We're now going to build a Model S or a Model X specifically for you. And to do that, we're going to convert your reservation payment into a deposit for this car. And this deposit is now non-refundable.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, hopefully you will have, you know, worst, there aren't any bad combinations of you know, interior and exterior for Model S, so I'm sure it would be saleable if someone wanted to opt out.
That's true.
But the idea is that reservation payment becomes non-refundable.
The original amount.
And now the balance would be due upon delivery of your car. Now, I'll admit that I'm not in sales, and so I'm not certain that is the exact thing. There
I could ask George.
You could ask George. There could be potentially additional funds due at the time of configuration.
I think I want to ask George about leasing. I saw the leasing was announced in Europe through a partner.
That's right. That's a fleet leasing, essentially, where Athlon, which is a fleet leasing company, will buy 150 Model S from Tesla, and then they will lease them to their customers, which are big businesses and institutions. So in Europe, the way that this segment of the market sort of operates is that the majority of cars like the 5 Series E-Class are owned by 3 or 4 huge companies that own millions of vehicles.
I noticed in this country, large banks will own the actual vehicles. Even with Mercedes-Benz Finance Corporation, I noticed when I returned a leased vehicle, it was a bank that had it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's slightly different in Europe.
Because obviously Tesla can't. Europe's different.
That's right. And
what about
leasing for individuals is we don't know exactly when that will become available.
I noticed on the BMW website there was something about like more than half their vehicles are leased or something.
For which manufacturer?
BMW's website mentioned something about more than half their vehicles are leased and all that.
That could very well be true.
I know at introduction you're selling to fanatics and early adopters. There's no leasing program, but Elon indicated that down the road at some point there'll be leasing available.
Without a doubt. I mean, the concept of no compromise extends throughout the Tesla, at least we want it to. And we wouldn't want you to compromise and not lease a car when you ordinarily would. So
I mean, for us, we could purchase it outright, but we own a business, so on a sedan you can't depreciate quickly. But the lease payments you can write off 100% of. You know what I'm saying?
There are really a variety of different reasons why it would behoove us to offer leasing.
Yeah, but I think the main reason too, when you deal with the general public, the way you can get over anxiety about new technology, battery technology, whatever, is like, well, you're leasing the vehicle for a set period of time, and if you're not happy with battery electric vehicles, then you can return it when you're done.
You're absolutely right. That's another benefit that leasing can offer you. It's quite well, we don't have an expected timeline on when we'll offer it in the U.S., but it is our goal to do.
But my impression is that because you've already reserved the first year of production, there's no need to lease. You know what I'm saying? For those people.
There certainly be groups of folks on that reservation list who have the desire to lease, and those folks may choose to defer their production until leasing is available.
Yeah.
In which case, folks further down the list might be able to sort of pop up a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
all right. Hey, thanks so much. You've been really informative.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And any question I should have asked that I forgot to? You're allowed to discuss.
I can think of a few, but I probably won't tell you what they are.
No, I said that you're allowed to discuss.
Oh, I mean, I can discuss. You can find me later.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What's your name again? It's so noisy here.
Ted Merendino.
Ted
Merendino.
Merendino. Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for your time. It's great. Yeah. We're all very excited. Can't wait to get the product.
What's your name?
Russ Engel.
And what's your handle on the forum?
Engel. E-N-G-L-E.
Okay. And was this for our firms or for Tesla Motors?
Both.
Okay.